that's where you met Zachary. Can you tell us a little bit about your friendship with?
Yeah, so my sophomore year was when I met Zach. He was an incoming freshman.
Okay.
And so he ended up redshirting that year, so we didn't get to play together. But he was one of those, he was one of those guys that just lit up the room with a smile. You wanted to be around him. And he was also wanting to be a special education major.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where we really connected. His first weekend on campus, because basketball players have to be there during the summer.
Okay.
Well, his first weekend on campus, he came home with me because I host basketball camps for different Down syndrome organizations.
Wow.
And so that weekend is kind of when we really became close. Like I knew of him, obviously committed to Ball State, but that weekend, stayed with my family and we just had a great time. Got to learn a lot about each other. And we just became super close. And I think with everything outside of basketball, it made us want to push each other inside of basketball. We wanted to see each other grow as much as we could, and just make each other better on and off the court.
Right. Now, Zach Hollywood's his name. I read an article and it talked about, your friendship with him and some of what you're describing about, the off the court, you guys hanging out and all of that. I guess basically creating a bond with each other. Unfortunately, during that time, I guess he had some mental health issues going on himself, and unfortunately, he, committed suicide. What do you think that did for yourself and the program? And if you could speak about it, were there any, I guess, signs that you say you could see from your friend at that time? Because I know there's a lot of kids that come into college, they leave their homes, and it's a new environment. So it's almost like you've always had kids go to college and then they can't take college, so they come home and get a job or whatever. But did you see any signs or anything that would that probably contributed to what happened with him?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's tough. He had lost his mom a year earlier. So I know that was super tough for him to go through. And we were all there for him through that. But losing a parent is never easy, especially one that's so young. And then I know he ended up having the disease that his mom passed from, and so that was kind of hard for him to mentally take. And there was other factors, but I think we knew what he was going through in a sense, because the next week he was starting counseling. So we all had his back. We all knew, not we all knew, but the ones closest to him knew, he was on the right path to getting help and getting to where he wanted and needed to be. The night before was my birthday party, and I say this to everyone. My best memory is that night, because I remember looking over and seeing how happy he was. Like I think about it all the time. Like I can really just see that image and how happy he was, how he smiled through the entire night. And I remember him giving me a hug and telling me, "Bye, love me." And so it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, like this is the turning point. I knew he was going through so much and I'd gone through so much, and this is kind of the turning point of that. And now he's gonna, he's on that path to getting better. And unfortunately, the next morning, things just happen to go a different way, and it's tough. But as far as the program, I would say it made our team closer. I hate that tragedy brought us together. It's kind of when I speak to programs, I always let them know, don't let tragedy bring you guys closer. Like start working on that bond now, because you just don't want loss to bring you closer. But we had a tough year that year. We lost 3 teammates. We lost one to obviously Zach, and then we lost 2 other guys to not pretty much off the court issues. So we had a very up and down year, and that was supposed to really be a year that we shocked a lot of people. And we still played well, even to given everything we went through. And then me individually, I found my relationship with the Lord. I ended up getting baptized that December. That happened in
Mhm.
August, but I got baptized that December. And like I always say too, like I hate that tragedy brought me closer to God. But
Mhm.
here I am still. So very thankful to have that relationship and to have um, I always say that it's God doesn't promise us an easy life, but He promises a life of not being alone.
Right.
And so those are kind of the two big things in individually and as a team.